Hi, I'm Richard with Bear Claw Knife and Shear. I'm here at the Bear Claw Studios, and today we're talking about butcher steels and sharpening rods. So today we're talking about butcher steels and sharpening rods. They're both used basically the same way. We're going to take a knife and we're going to bring it across the sharpening steel. But before we do that, I want to talk to you about what a sharpening steel does. You see this knife here? This is a Wusthof, and the steel is actually fairly soft. That's one reason why the chefs love it so much, because it's easy to maintain. But this knife, long before it goes dull, the edge will fold. Because, you know, we're cutting all over the place there. We're hitting the cutting board. This blade will fold. This edge will fold long before it goes dull. What we're doing with a butcher steel is we're lifting up that folded edge. We're lifting it up straight again so it will cut. It's not going dull, it's just folding the edge. So we're lifting it up straight so it'll cut better. Now when the butcher steel doesn't work anymore, then we have to go to a sharpening rod. But let's talk about the butcher steel for a second. The butcher steel, we're going to start at the heel here and work our way this way and this way at the same time. The angle we're going to use, if this is 90 degrees, half of that's 45, half of that is 22 and a half, then we're going to go down just a little bit more. Now you are not a machine. You're not going to get an exact angle. You know, this is not a calibrated hand. You're going to take an average of each pass. So you're going to start at the heel at the angle that you want. You're working your way this way and this way at the same time. This way and this way at the same time. Now, you can do the same thing going away from the edge as well. For instance, if you take it here at the heel and you work your way to your tip going this way, just like this. And there's one other way we can do this. You can put it on your cutting board like so. Sorry about the tag there. You can put it on your cutting board like so, and then you could angle it like this, right? And work your way down this way and this way towards the cutting board. I know it's kind of hard to see here, but you can work it towards the cutting board. Just like this. Towards the cutting board. Now, I've got all this stuff in the way, and I don't usually do it like this, but this is the way it works. So this is a butcher steel made to raise a folded edge, not sharpen the knife. Now when this butcher steel doesn't work anymore, that's when you want to go to an abrasive. Now an abrasive is going to remove steel from either side of the bevel, and it's going to take and bring those bevels together, create a burr across the entire edge, make the burr finer, and then we remove it, and that's sharpening. That's all sharpening is. We're removing steel to bring those bevels together so your knife is sharp. So when the butcher steel doesn't work and the edge is just a little off, then we're going to want to go to an abrasive. Now there's several abrasives that we can use. One of them that I like a lot is this ceramic. This is actually just a $10 ceramic rod. It's a fairly big rod, and it's easy to use, and it's very smooth, so it's not going to remove so much steel from your knife that you're worried about taking a lot of life out of the knife. Very easy to use. So you're going to start at the heel, work your way towards, like you're cutting into it. This way and this way at the same time, just like the butcher steel. The angle is the same, right? No difference on the angle. You're doing the same thing. All right, now you see that line that's formed there? I think you can see that line. That line is actually steel that's being left behind on the ceramic. Ceramic is nearly as hard as diamond. It's going to take off steel off of even the hardest steels, and it's going to leave that steel on there. Now when this gets completely covered with steel, it's called being loaded up. It's loaded up with steel. You're sharpening steel on steel. That's no good. So you're going to take this off by using some scouring powder, either Comet, Ajax. You can use Barkeeper's Friend is another good one, and use some of that to scour this off of there, and it'll come right off. It's easy to do. Then rinse it real well, dry it, and then you're back to ceramic again. So that line that you see there is steel that's left behind. Any abrasive will do this. Now, the coarser the abrasive, the faster it's going to remove material. And that's why we have some other ones here as well. For instance, this one here is another ceramic. This particular ceramic is coarser than this one is. It's a little more aggressive, but it's a beautiful ceramic and it does the job very, very quickly. So if you want to really take some metal off the knife, if the knife is super dull, you're going to be able to do it with this very quickly. Now, these are more expensive, but it's because it's so darn good that they cost a little more money. Now, you can also go to a diamond. Now, this diamond abrasive, of course, is nothing harder than diamond. Now, you can't weld diamond onto the surface, right? You can't weld it on there. You have to adhere it to the surface, and typically they use a nickel binder to do that. So don't press too hard with diamond. Let the diamond do the work, and it'll sharpen your knife up in about a heartbeat. In fact, going from diamond to ceramic for the finish on the ceramic is a really nice combination. But you do it the exact same way with diamond. It's just an abrasive, it's going to remove steel. When you get loaded up on diamond, you're going to just put some dishwater. Not abrasive, nothing abrasive on here. You're not going to use Barkeeper's Friend or anything. You're just going to use some dishwater and just clean it off with that and then dry it and you'll be good to go. But diamond works very, very well, and these diamond rods, I like them a lot. And they work very quickly as well. Now there's something kind of new out on the market right now, and that's this tungsten carbide. Tungsten carbide, this particular one, is coming from Miyabi. Miyabi is a brand made in Japan. Beautiful knives, really nice knives. Check them out on bcknife.com because we've got a really nice selection of Miyabi. But this is tungsten carbide. It'll sharpen very quickly. Even the hardest of steels, it will sharpen them up. And this does a beautiful job. Now it's fairly smooth, so you're not going to remove a ton of material very quickly, just enough to bring it to an edge very nicely. And some of those Miyabi knives are very, very hard steels. They're really made to stay sharp for a very, very long time. So you need something like this to do it with. You're not going to use this on some of those harder steels. This butcher steel here, the butcher steel works for some of the softer stainlesses and for, of course, the carbon steels. But beyond that, you get into the harder powdered steels, and they don't go dull like these other ones do. They don't fold. The edge doesn't fold like you know, your Wusthoffs do and some of the other knives do. So you don't need this. You would go right to an abrasive if that one gets dull. So powdered knives, powdered steel knives, you're going to go to an abrasive. All the softer steels, the older steels, you're going to use a butcher steel every time you pull that knife out to use it, or every time you clean it and you go to put it away, you use a butcher steel on that. So we've got some options here. We've got the ceramic and a ceramic. We've got tungsten carbide, diamond, and of course for everyday use, we've got your butcher steel. It's a good day. Now you know how to take care of your knives, and you'll be able to extend the time between having to bring it into somebody like us to have it professionally sharpened. But when you do, by all means, give us a shout, bring them on down to the store, we'll take care of them for you. And if you need any of this stuff, you can find it at bcknife.com. That's about it for me. Until next time, we'll see you then.